What's up everybody, it's Alex, and today I have an educational video where I'm basically going to walk you through the symmetric wedge chart pattern, which is a very important, common, and effective chart pattern that any good trader needs to know how to utilize if you're trying to be successful, obviously. So stick with me, and that's my goal in this video, is to make sure you leave here being able to identify this important chart pattern, and that way you can make tons of money in the future because you learn one pattern. Well, then you get to use it for the rest of your life. So let's make sure we nail it through your head and make sure you leave here better than you started. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Basically, we're focusing on the symmetric triangle. Now, look, there's other variations, okay, but at that point, you're just turning into Pablo Picasso. So the one we're focusing on is right here, the symmetrical triangle, which I find to be the most simple and effective, okay? Now, they want to call these, they want to give them the special names. And some people focus too much on the pattern. Okay, the most important thing to understand with patterns is why are they forming, what's actually happening on this pattern. Okay, so for example, in this ascending triangle, right? I mean, I don't call that an ascending triangle. I don't call that anything typically. Okay, but all I would call this is breaking through the top level. Okay, you're getting support from the bottom and you're breaking through the top level, okay, and typically you're going to see an increase in volume on the breakout higher, which is going to confirm the breakout higher there, okay. Same with the descending triangle. All it is breaking through that bottom level, and typically when you're breaking through, you want to see stronger volume on the breakthrough, which is going to confirm the break lower. Okay, so I mean, they want to give these things fancy names. They want to draw up these intricate paintings here. Okay, that's not what we're doing here. We're traders, not painters, and so that's why I'm going to show you how to be very effective with this pattern while also being very simple and not having to be a Picasso here. Okay, so look, the important thing you need to understand with the symmetric triangle is you're basically creating a series of lower highs and higher lows. So basically you're getting support from the bottom, but you're also getting resistance from the top, which is basically creating this wedge or triangle in which prices have to pick which direction do they want to go. Okay, and so it can either break out higher or it can actually break out lower. So in this little painting here, you see that they're depicting it to breakout higher, which is typically what you're going to get. Okay, but it doesn't always have to be on the breakout higher. And there's very important characteristics that you need to understand about this pattern, which we're going to go over in detail here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, right? Just remember, top is you're getting resistance from the top and you're getting support from the bottom, which means they got to pick a side. Okay, it's going to go higher or lower. And how do you define which way it's going to go? We're going to make sure you understand that by the end of this. Okay, so first, I just want to put a real world example that we have currently into your head for you to be aware of here. It's now December 13th. So look, it's great to go over past patterns, but it's a whole nother thing to apply it to what you're actually doing in your trading and what's going on in the real world, which I think is extremely important. So I want to bring up this Amazon example, which we have a symmetric triangle. Okay, and how do we make that? Well, you have the series of lower highs, lower highs and higher lows, which is making this symmetric triangle. Okay, and so look, when you first start off, it's not very obvious. If you just look at this chart, the average trader is never going to see that. Okay, they're just going to see a bunch of candles. They really don't know what's going on. Maybe they think it's in an uptrend. Maybe they think it's in a downtrend, right? I mean, I don't know what you think. I do know that we have a chart course where we go over everything in detail, but in today's video, we're going over this specific pattern, okay? And so, look, I totally understand when you begin, it's really, you're just kind of lost. You don't know what to look for, okay? But that's why we're going over this so you can start to identify it on your own and take advantage of the pattern so you can make tons of money in the future with it, okay? So look, now that we've actually drawn it up, now it's obvious. But guess what? It's only obvious after the fact, just like everything else. Okay, like say the market drops, you're like, oh yeah, that was obvious. I knew it was going to drop. Even though, did you know it was going to drop before it happened, right? So everything's obvious after the fact. It's all about actually being able to identify these things before they happen, which is going to separate you from the rest. So keep an eye on this symmetric wedge pattern we have. I know we still haven't gotten into actually identifying and making sure you understand how to trade them. So that's what we're about to go over. But I just want you to, obviously keep this one in mind as we move forward. Okay, so let's get into some previous examples of how the symmetric triangle has worked. Some ones that we've traded, some ones that have been highly effective. Okay, so once again, what are the important characteristics? We got lower highs and higher lows. So look at Apple, right? You got one low there, one low there, one low there, one low there. Okay, so you got a series of higher lows there, and then you got a series of lower highs here. Okay, you can see that there, right? And well, just draw a straight line through that, guys. Like I said, we're not trying to be Picasso here. but it's a very simple pattern, right? So look, I mean, it's as simple as that. And so what happens as these lines cross? Well, what do you actually get is you get a significant spike in buyers. Do you see this? I mean, it's clear as day there, okay? Clearly a ton of buyers come in at the point of the wedge or the triangle, right? And so it leads to the breakout higher, okay? So super easy identification there, but that's the most important thing about these wedges is the volume, okay? That's the most important characteristics. That's what's really going to find the success in this pattern is the volume. Okay, so once again, you know, you can be Picasso, you can draw these paintings on your charts, or you can actually understand what's making these work. And once again, what's making it work, right? It's not about the pattern. It's the fact that we're making lower highs, right? So we're getting resistance up the top, but we're also getting support at the bottom, which means it has to pick a direction as these, you know, two sides of the equation meet. And in this case, it decides to break out higher, and we get that confirmation with the volume. Okay, so clearly you get the increase in volume as opposed to the other days, right? It's very obvious, right? And so hopefully that's starting to make sense. Let's get into another example here. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Who's been there? I think we've all been there, and they just had an IPO pretty recently, right? So pretty cool because you're seeing that this pattern can be applied to basically everyday use. Just it happens all the time on all these charts, right? So it's happened on Apple. We all know what Apple is. Academy Sports and Outdoors. We all know what that is, okay? And so once again, is it obvious to your eye, or are you starting to see it? I'm not sure, but that's why we're going through these examples to help you, you know, really notice these things. Okay, so once again, lower high here, lower high there. Okay, and so then boom, you just draw a straight line through there. Okay, once again, you got the higher low there, higher low there, higher low there, and just draw a straight line through there. Look, what do you see? Again, it's the volume characteristics. As you got resistance overhead, support through the bottom, boom, it picks a side, it goes up, okay? And it's confirmed in the volume. It's all about the volume, guys, not about the drawing, okay? So look, you know, the drawing can be pretty subjective almost, right? We can all see different things, but at the end of the day, what matters the most is resistance overhead, support from the bottom, and it has to pick a direction. As it picks its direction, you play it to that direction. You see what I'm saying? So once again, not about the drawing, it's about the characteristics, and the characteristics are as we just explained, right? Those lower highs, the higher lows, and the volume breakout. Okay, keep that in mind. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. Now, Airbnb Symmetric Wedge, guys, this thing just had an IPO 2 days ago. Okay, so once again, just really adding to how effective this pattern is, how it does pop up from time to time pretty often. Okay, and so you're going to be able to start applying it to your trading after this video is over, and that's really the main goal here, is help you make money off this pattern when it does come up, right? You want to be aware of it. Okay, so let's just say Airbnb releases their IPO, all of a sudden you're super bullish. Okay, but there's a very simple chart pattern forming. Once again, you're making lower highs here, you're making higher lows there. As they collide, you gotta pick a direction. In this case, what do you get? A breakdown lower. You see the increase in sellers coming in right here as we're starting to break through the triangle, right? And so boom, it picks its direction, breaks down lower super quickly. Once again, it's the characteristics of the pattern. It's not about the drawing. It's not about the pattern. It's about the characteristics of the pattern. And you have those key characteristics once again. The lower highs, the higher lows. Guys, if I sound like a broken record, it's because I mean to. It's because it's important that you nail the characteristics, because too many people focus on the pattern, the drawing, not what's actually making the pattern work. And that's what separates the good from the best. So let's get into the next example here. Nikola Symmetric Wedge. Now this was quite a time ago, and I just wanted to bring this one up because I remember trading it. Okay, it's on our channel a while ago. Okay, so once again here, I just pulled up Nikola. Okay, it took me a while to get to it. But anyways, what do you have? Once again, you got resistance overhead, support through the bottom. It's got to pick a side, and it does. Okay, and what do you see here? You see that increased, spike in buyers. Okay, so look at the sellers over here on the previous day. Look how low that volume is, okay? Now, when we're breaking through, you have triple the volume in which we had, going into the close on the previous day, right? So just a clear bias in buyers on this breakout. And so this is just a great example of trading this on the intraday, right? We've went over some of these on the daily chart, right? But it's actually a whole other thing to put it to use on the intraday chart. So you can see it's a very flexible pattern. It can work on a long time period, right? This is what, a 1 month wedge. This is what, a 3 month wedge. This is what, a 4 hour wedge. That's probably 4 hours in total, right? And this is what? A 5-day wedge. So it works on all time periods, but once again, it doesn't matter how long, how short the wedge is, but what matters is the characteristics. So once again, let's make sure you have this written down, okay? The most important details to understand is the volume is the most important signal on the breakout, higher or lower. Okay, so once again, in this Nikola, you had the the confirmation in the buyer's buyer volume, right? Which easily confirmed that, hey, this thing's about to break out higher here. Okay, and that's exactly what it did. Okay, it's all about the volume, not about the drawing. And so that's why, we've said this many times, that pattern can be subjective. Therefore, it's all about the characteristics, okay? Because someone might have, a different drawing than you. You might have a different drawing, right? They're not going to be exactly spot on every time, but the characteristics are going to be the same, and that's when, or that's how you can actually play these to the up or down side. Okay, so guys, I hope this was super useful. I think I'm just really glad we put this in like a 10-12 minute video, and I think we really nailed into the key characteristics that make it work. Okay, so I think this was really good because we actually showed you why and how it's working, what's really happening here. Whereas, you go watch somebody else, they might just draw some shit up, okay? But anyone can draw some shit up, but not everyone actually understands why it works, and that's what we nailed through here today. Alright, so guys, look, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not, and have your notification bell on, because we're always doing videos like this. We're always trying to put together awesome trades, and at the end of the day, we're just absolute champs, okay? And we're the best. Alright, simple as that. And that's going to wrap it up for the video. Alright, so guys, if you want to be on our weekly trading plan where we send you emails on, what trades we got planned, the link is down below. And then obviously we have a chart course, which is really going to change your trading if you're serious about this all. Okay, so guys, that's it for this video. Let me know, do you like this educational style video? Do you want more? What do you want? Alright, give me ideas, and we can probably make some of them happen, okay? I can't promise everything will be done, but we'll try our best as always. Alright, so guys, we'll see you on the next video. Have a great rest of your weekend, day, whenever you watch this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright, goodbye.